POV. It's 2009 and you just turned on your dumpy ass wood panel tube TV with Cheeto dust all over your fingers and saw a trailer for a little known game called Assassin's Creed 2. And you think to yourself, what the freaky hell is that? An Italian man named Ezio with a funky ass bass line? I need to have this game.
Okay, I will take 5 copies, please. I will take them with my knees. I will take them in the trees. I will take 5 copies, please.
Well, 2 years later, I got a PS3, and with it, Batman Arkham Asylum and Arkham City in a 2-pack, which I will get to at a later date. And under the tree, buried in wrapping paper, there it was, Assassin's Creed 2. A game that, looking back on, I should not have been playing at the age of 7, but a game I instantly fell in love with. It was actually my very first Platinum trophy back in December 2018. A game I revisited after not touching it with his admission, since that was the year I asked for a PS4, and I was waiting for Christmas to roll around, so I just sat there counting the days to getting my PS4. And then, December 20th, 2018, it popped. Master Assassin, the Platinum trophy. It fueled me to become a legit trophy hunter. I even went back into the Ezio collection and platinumed it on PS4 as well. This year I was looking at my PS5 now that I'm an adult and can just buy the consoles for myself, and it had me reminiscing on the past and how important that PS3 was for me. And I thought the perfect game to platinum this year was a game that's been with me since the very beginning. Without further ado, I give you Assassin's Creed 2. Side note, if you were born after 2009, I'm pretty sure you just turned 5 and you should click off this video, since I will be A, swearing, and B, spoiling the absolute dog piss out of Assassin's Creed and Assassin's Creed 2. And if you for whatever reason still like Ubisoft, probably your enjoyment of Ubisoft, which honestly, that one I'm doing you a favor. Let me set the scene for you. 18 years ago in 2006, wait, 2006 was 18 years ago? What the fuck? Ubisoft generally wasn't regarded as the money-hungry company that released the same shit, different patio every year. They were a well-respected and trusted game company that made hit after hit. Comparing Ubisoft back then to now is kind of like comparing a GeForce RTX graphics card to a large stack of pennies. Both are generally harmless overall, but if you used to give out GeForce RTXs and this year you replace it with a sack of pennies, your fan base is guaranteed to feel some type of way about it. It's 2006 and the Xbox 360 and PS3 are fresh in the mind of everyone. Last generation, Ubisoft's Prince of Persia series dominated the PS2 era as a T-for-teen unique platformer about saving a princess. Kinda like Mario, but they could say damn like a bunch of badasses. But around 2006, the Prince of Persia series felt a little stale, with most of the recent games being well regarded as boring and forgettable. Forgotten Sands, more like Forgotten Dans. I did not have a way to make that work. They needed to rush in the next generation of Prince of Persia-like games, but they needed to be more mature. I mean, hell, it's a first-person shooter generation. We can handle more mature games with real swear words like darn, pee-pee, and Doban Hankaros.
Basically, there's this high school.
People are sick of the same old Prince of Persia games every couple of years. So the Prince of Persia team gets to work on their next top seller. Something to usher in the new generation. They take the core gameplay of the Prince games, I'm just going to refer to them as that from now on, because saying Persia over and over again is driving me insane. They take the core gameplay of the Prince games and they work on it a bit for a more mature audience. Instead of an adopted prince that can turn back time, you're now an assassin named Altair that's hunting for lost pieces of Eden to find the divine creators of mankind. And in 2007, Assassin's Creed releases to critical and audience acclaim, literally changing the landscape of 3D platformers. It was the very first game to implement the hold up and scale a building mechanic that's in every 3D platformer. It's a tired mechanic now, but when it first came out, it was a big deal. Assassin's Creed was revolutionary, but a lot of it was still janky. They needed more time to polish it. Well, 2 years later, we're finally back to turning on your dumpy ass TV that if you even thought about moving, it would fall on your toe and break it. Assassin's Creed 2 is a game about Ezio Auditore da Firenze, a character who to this day is still the person people think of when they think Assassin's Creed. I mean, we were with him for his birth, And if you saw Assassin's Creed Embers, we were with him for his death. To talk about the rise and eventual downfall of Ubisoft without talking about Ezio is like talking about the best wrestlers of all time and not mentioning Jon Moxley. Assassin's Creed 2, the beginning of Ezio's story and continuation of Desmond Miles' story, is a game I've already got the platinum for not once, not twice, but twice. It's a game that I hold very near and dear to my heart. It's one of the first PS3 games I ever played. In case you've been living under a rock for the past 14 years, Assassin's Creed 2 is about Desmond Miles escaping from Abstergo, the villainous company controlled by the Templars. Basically, if you don't know the games, the story revolves around two separate parties trying to find pieces of Eden for completely different reasons. The assassins just want to know when the world ends so they can help prevent it, and the Templars want to find pieces of Eden so they can use their powers for political and financial gain. Desmond Miles escapes with Lucy to meet her friends who are working against Abstergo.
Oh, what are you, a tiny child?
Shut the fuck up, Sean. Desmond's ancestor, Ezio, they use the same face mold as they did for Desmond and Altair. Ezio just wants to have sex with every woman in Italy. But eventually he gets involved with his dad's business of assassins. Ezio's brothers and father are arrested at the order of Pope Alexander VI, aka Rodrigo Borgia. And Ezio asks for help from his friend Leonardo da Vinci to help him fix his father's broken hidden blade, so he can assassinate the executioner. But by the time he gets to the site of execution, it's already too late. The Pope had executed Ezio's family. These games are very historically accurate, I should let you know. This all happened. This is all real. Ezio now has to escape his home in Florence with his sister Maria and his mother, who is in shock. And while they're fleeing, they're stopped by the Templars Ezio fought earlier at the beginning of the game. But a stranger stepped in with his army to save Ezio, and it turns out that stranger was actually Ezio's uncle Mario.
It's me, Mario!
They escape to Mario's villa, where it's revealed to Ezio that Mario and Ezio's father had worked years prior to find codex pages that, if you use Eagle Vision on, reveal pieces of the map to the Apple of Eden. So the rest of the game is about finding the remaining codex pages, all while killing Templars and clearing Ezio's name. And eventually the map leads Ezio to the Vatican, where the Pope has gotten all the pieces of Eden he needs to open a vault that is said to reveal the secret of mankind's making. Which, side note, all throughout the game, Subject 16, Desmond's predecessor, has left behind coded hieroglyphics that reveal little snippets of a video of Adam and Eve escaping Eden with the apple. But if you're like me, you're probably thinking, Subject 16 and 17, what the hell happened to Subject 1 and 2 and 3 and 8, 6, 7, 5, 3, 0, 9? Well, they're all dead. Every single one of them. Ezio and Rodrigo Borgia have a fist fight so Ezio can assure the Borgia can't get into the vault. And once Ezio is victorious, he enters the vault where one of the creators of man talks about the end of the world. But she's not talking to Ezio, no, she's talking directly to Desmond Miles. Abstergo finds the team of assassins directly after this, and they have to escape the hideout. Roll credits. The story is picked up directly back up by Assassin's Creed Brotherhood and Revelations, which were the first non-numbered sequels of Assassin's Creed, but I think we all know they were definitely not the last. But while they are decent games, they felt a lot less so like continuations of Assassin's Creed 2 and more like Assassin's Creed 2, you know what I mean? To a point where by the time the next numbered sequel, Assassin's Creed 3 came out, people were getting sick of Assassin's Creed. And Ubisoft thought they were getting sick of Desmond. This was not the case, but regardless, at the end of Assassin's Creed 3, they killed off Desmond. Not realizing this would reasonably divide the fan base, making most of them mad that Ubisoft missed the point. This was the beginning of Ubisoft's fall from grace. This video is sponsored by Rayman Shadow Legends. Do you ever think to yourself, oh, fuck, I want Rayman, but on a Wii balance board and shitty and really nothing to do with Rayman? Well, I give you Rayman's Raving Rabbids. One nail of 1,000 nails in Ubisoft's hellish coffin. Do you want Assassin's Creed, but are you disappointed with the lack of microtransactions? Well, I'll get to that later. It's 2014 now. Assassin's Creed games are coming out every year or two, like Call of Duty. And people were getting sick of it. Not because of Desmond or gameplay or even Ezio. Ezio hadn't been in the game for a couple years now. His story was closed. No, fans were getting sick of the series because every year or two, very similar games with similar stories and samey combat were beginning to fatigue fans. With other games from Ubisoft also feeling samey, Rayman Legends had just released to mediocre reviews, Watch Dogs launched, and I think we all know how that one went.
Ubisoft Montreal, the company responsible for the Holocaust and the Splinter Cell series.
And then South Park: The Stick of Truth came out. It was the first Ubisoft game in ages people actually cared about, that people genuinely enjoyed. It felt like Ubisoft finally understood why fans were starting to dislike them. Until November 11th, 2014. Assassin's Creed Unity launched on PS4 and Xbox One, the first next-generation only Assassin's Creed games. And instead of having that be their big draw, they released Assassin's Creed Rogue, which launched on the same day, same time on PS3 and Xbox 360. Which Rogue was a better game than Unity, but that's beside the point. This one decision was the turning point that made Ubisoft go from loved game developer to despised by the world. To really deep dive into this, we need to fast forward 3 years to October 27th, 2017. Assassin's Creed Origins came out to overwhelmingly positive reviews, generally being regarded as the best Assassin's Creed game since Black Flag. I even liked Origins so much I almost got the platinum for it. I did every trophy other than the one for completing all this side stuff on the map, until my PS4 crashed and the hard drive imploded on itself, deleting my save data on all the games I hadn't uploaded to the PS Plus cloud yet. And I haven't touched it since. I might end up doing it this year for the channel, but I don't know yet. With Origins, Ubisoft had taken the last year off Assassin's Creed yearly releases to completely reinvent Assassin's Creed. The combat was new and much more RPG-like. The gameplay felt like an Arkham game, and the story completely breathed new life into Assassin's Creed. Fans rejoiced that Ubisoft had arisen from the ashes like the Phoenix, and then Assassin's Creed Odyssey came out, and yet again the fans were divided. Much like with Brotherhood, Odyssey felt less so like a continuation and more so like a watered-down version of the same story. It felt like Walk by Pantera, Taylor's version. I don't even know what that analogy even meant, but you know. And people were understandably pissed. The promise for a game with new and interesting mechanics and stories was broken beyond repair. Ubisoft had gone back to their old ways, and it was clear that they didn't realize what they were doing wrong, and they just got lucky. And the facade of Ubisoft doing better had faded, to a point where modern-day Ubisoft is a decrepit shell of what it used to be. No one is fond of Ubisoft anymore. Everyone has disdain for the company. And while I am excited for the upcoming Assassin's Creed Mirage, comes out October 5th, which as of recording is just 2 weeks away, I am also very wary about it. I don't trust it, and how could I? I've been burned by Ubisoft too many times for me to be able to consciously support them without feeling a sense of unease. But if we're going to talk about the current state of Ubisoft, we need to talk about something bigger than Ubisoft. We need to talk about Rainbow Six Siege. Playing Rainbow Six Siege is a lot like dating an alcoholic. Maybe it was okay at first. Maybe he was fun and exciting, and he had charm. But now your friends are pointing out his red flags. Like maybe he says passive-aggressive shit like, "That's brave wearing that outfit with those heels," or maybe he gave Warden a 1.5 scope and ruined everyone's day. I will admit I am part of the issue of microtransactions, because Rainbow Six Siege is my most played game ever. And the most recently released Operator RAM is my favorite thing to come to the game in years. The gadget is amazing, and a 2.0 scope on the R4C is the most broken thing ever. I've never gotten as many headshots as I do now. But that does not in any way excuse the overabundance of microtransactions, and what the fuck is the Ubisoft Club? Why are a fucking different pair of glasses in Wheel of Fortune locked for me because I'm not a part of their fucking cult? It makes no goddamn sense. But for us to talk about Rainbow Six Siege and how it was eventually what made it the black hole that destroyed Ubisoft's universe, We have to go back to the beginning, when it wasn't seen as the worst thing to gaming since Mad Catz controllers. It was originally loved by fans of the Tom Clancy, Rainbow Six, and Splinter Cell series. So what caused the fans to eventually loathe Rainbow? Well, I guess I'll tell you. But it's a bit of a long story, because having fun in Siege used to be commonplace, but now saying Siege is fun is kinda like saying you smoke Marlboro Reds, not because you're addicted, but because you like the taste. Rainbow Six Siege came out on December 1st, 2015, and it was a first-person shooter like no other. It was a tactical first-person shooter where you talk to your teammates in real time, all working in unison to assure your team wins. The goal wasn't to rack up as many kills as possible or to move a shipment while the other team was trying to push your shipment back. No. This game was unapologetically grounded in reality, based on stealth and timing your shots perfectly to not have your cover blown by the other team. It was different. It was interesting. It was beautiful. And insanely well reviewed. Ubisoft had done the impossible. They made the perfect tactical shooter. So what the hell happened? Well, over the years, Ubisoft started running out of ideas for operators, and I can name every operator in the past 4 years that actually added something to the game. Those operators are Mozzie, Ace, Zero, Flores, Osa, Thunderbird, Thorn, and Ram. That's 8 operators of 32 released in the past 4 years. And that's only one reason of a multitude of reasons people now hate Rainbow Six Siege. Another reason is while all games have a toxic side of their fan base that's usually the smaller group of the overall fan base, Rainbow Six Siege has a good side in the sea of toxic players. Spawn peeking, rapid leaning, drop shotting, and thousands of other tactics that people have all agreed are only used for the toxic sweats that run rampant in this game. Another reason would be imbalanced matchmaking. The matchmaking depends on how well you perform, personally, matching you up with players at your skill level. Allegedly. The deciders of skill level are a little broken. It doesn't decide based on how many kills you get or how well you play, or even how many times you die. It decides your skill based on games won. So you could be getting no kills and dying every single round, and that won't matter if you're on a 3-game win streak. The game will see that and start matching you up with champion players when you're probably a gold 5. Which gold 5 players are still good at the game, but champions are the people that eat, breathe, and sleep Rainbow Six Siege. No matter how well you perform, it's an unfair matchup. The last thing I want to talk about in this chapter is the rise in the use of microtransactions in Ubisoft games, and really gaming in general. There's no reason for hiding items you want, like cool skins for guns behind a paywall or loot boxes. You should just be able to buy the skin with in-game currency instead of either spending your fake currency on loot boxes or your actual real-life money on loot boxes just to get something you did not want. Because the items in loot boxes are randomized, so you might not even get something anyone ever wanted. I can't even count the amount of times I opened an alpha pack hoping for a black ice and seeing that purple glow and getting excited just to flip the card over and reveal it's just a helmet for Fuse that's a slightly darker shade of beige than the original helmet. And just getting so mad because who the fuck wanted that? I spent 5,000 renown on that. You should just be able to purchase the skins you want with your renown instead of having this bullshit fucking game of cat and mouse where 90% of the time the mouse isn't a mouse at all and it is in fact a helmet for Fuse. This isn't like your grandfather's drunken rant at Thanksgiving where they're talking about how I miss the good old days where men were men and Ben were 10. These are real issues plaguing the gaming industry. And I think microtransactions in $70 fully priced video games should be illegal. After years of samey Assassin's Creed and lackluster battle passes, people have began to loathe Ubisoft. And people are pretty fed up with their shit. But next year, Ubisoft decided to get ahead of the curve and introduce a back-to-basics game that's gonna flip the script. And they're going to release a game that's truly like no other. A brand new Prince of Persia game. Son of a bitch! The amount of toxic players and problems with this game have caused the player base to dwindle over the years. And it's really sad to see because I love Siege. It's a game that really helped me a lot during the pandemic. With me and my friends playing it every single night to distract us from the horrors of what was going on in the world around us. And some of the best memories I've ever had were on that game, just sitting in my room, playing and talking with my friends, eating snacks. Those were some of the best years of my life. Assassin's Creed is one of my favorite franchises. I grew up with these games. They were some of my most formative memories in gaming. To a point where Assassin's Creed 2 gives me more nostalgia than any other game I played in my adolescence. And even though half of them are bad, I still love them dearly. I am going to buy Mirage when it comes out, and depending on how much I like it, and depending on if it has multiplayer trophies, you might see me platinum the game in November. We'll see. That's the only real reason I haven't got the platinum trophy in Assassin's Creed Black Flag in the years since it came out, because it has multiplayer trophies. Same reason I didn't get the platinum for Brotherhood and Revelations. But with the Ezio trilogy, they removed those multiplayer trophies, so I might actually end up going for those platinums this year too. Who knows? I am going to continue to buy the battle passes in Rainbow, and I will continue to support the company I once loved as they go deeper and deeper into being infamous. Because I was there for all of it. The rise, the fall, and the eventual decay of Ubisoft. I was there for all of it, and I will probably never stop supporting Ubisoft. I want them to succeed, but I also want them to stop going down the rabbit hole of greed. And I just want them to do what they set out to do when they originally formed. I want them to set out and release only quality titles and become what they once were. Thank you all for watching my video essay, and if you made it to the end of this exceptionally long video of me rambling, consider hitting the like button, the subscribe button, and hitting the bell, because I have more in store for you next week. And my rival Big Goomty has been putting out quality videos every Monday, and we'd love to invite you all on this weird little journey of ours. I want to thank all of you for watching, and I will see you next Wednesday, where I'll be talking about the new Mortal Kombat. Me and Goomty are actually racing for the platinum, and whoever gets it first, it counts as 2 for them. What else? All of October, I'm doing horror and Halloween related videos for nostalgia, and I just really need to get these thoughts of Halloween out of my brain and onto the internet, because it's really overbearing. While I was playing Assassin's Creed 2 for this video, I realized while it's a great story, the gameplay isn't really that good, and it's janky and it makes it hard to play, and I was bored a lot, and that really makes me sad, because AC2 was my favorite video game for years, and now I don't even think that it's in my top 10. But the story is still really good, so you gotta break a few clocks to be right twice a day, or whatever Jesus said. Ugh, yeah. If you liked this video, subscribe and comment stuff like "good job, guy." I bet you're good at videos making and fucking Bakugan. If you didn't like the videos, comment stuff like "ew, yuck, yuck, yuck." Go slam your head in a door and shove a couple Beyblades in your eye. Fucking let her rip, brother. Okay, bye.